So Panda's Child started as a book that I wrote quite a few years ago, actually. And it was a curious experience of finding this story while walking on the Pembrokeshire Coast Path, which is the most bizarre place to find a panda. The story actually threaded itself quite quickly through my mind. I'd heard about a small child in Greece who had been separated from his parents, and he'd been gone for well over a week, and he was found alive in the cave of a bear. And this kind of threaded its way into the story that I wanted to write. I moved it into this place where pandas are, which is kind of China, but it's from years ago, and it's set anywhere really where there are pandas back in time. I wrote it originally to illustrate, and to be absolutely frank and openly honest, I couldn't do it. I did sketches and that was fine, but when it came to doing the paintings, I just could not see the paintings. So I put it to one side and did something else, because sometimes you have to push through with something, and sometimes you just have to know when to stop beating yourself up and let it go. And then I met Kathy Fisher and during lockdown, and I watched her painting a book called The New Girl, which was written by Nicola Davis. And I saw the care and attention that she put into each page. And I asked her quite shyly, quite nervously, whether she might consider illustrating this text that I'd written called The Panda's Child. And she said... ...
Yeah.
The unique thing, I think, about this book is that although it is a picture book, it is a picture book in 3 chapters, which is really unusual. When we were making it, we very much had in mind that we wanted it to have these 3 chapters. And then Kath made the most beautiful end papers, which are like, it's like having curtains, isn't it, for a play?
Yeah, we saw it a bit like that, didn't we? That it was 3 parts of a play.
Yeah,
almost.
3 acts.
3 acts.
Because we nearly did have Act 1, Act 2, but it's chapter book, really.
Yeah.
And some of the pages combine illustration and text. And some are very, very beautifully. That one's very slight on the text there. Then some are just text, moving the story on. And then you get a chance to really rest in the pictures and read, as well as the words, read the images.
Yeah, read the emotions in the images.
Yeah, so you move kind of slowly through the book, hopefully. And then we go to my favourite picture in the book. So shall we talk about that picture?
We can talk about that picture. Okay. I did that picture in Australia. I started pictures in Jackie's house during lockdown. Was it still lockdown?
Yeah, do you want to hold that? Yeah, it was.
And so that's the original. That's the painting that I did in Australia. So I'd started the ones before that, and then I went out to Australia to join my husband, who I'd been separated from because of the pandemic. And I think Australia influences my colour because the light is so strong out there.
It is different. The colour has reproduced differently, but you know, it's always the same with an original. I love how the colours softly bleed. I love this edge here. I love the colour splats, and most of all I love the green light on the panda in this. It is just beautiful, because you know, you think panda's black and white, but she very much has, it's like the spirit of the forest, isn't it? And
I kind of wanted Panda to sort of feel like it was quietly creeping out the forest. And
One of the hardest bits of a book, I think, is the cover, because it's the first thing anybody sees. And my hope always with picture books is that they're not like that in a bookshop, but they're like that. So you want to do the most beautiful cover that you can, so that it really makes people want to pick it up and intrigues people. This is quite nice because it's got lovely foiling on of a kind of green gold, but it's the picture of the two pandas. Have you got the sketch?
I got the sketch. Well,
got
there was
the
a
sketch
sketch
there.
first. That's the sketch, which was done in pencil and charcoal, I think, if I remember rightly. And then from that sketch, I did a black and white watercolour. Well, actually, it had a bit of Payne's grey and a tiny bit of blue in it.
Yeah.
For the cover. And I wanted the viewer looking at the book to be drawn into their eyes.
It's very beautiful. It's got a lovely balance. And we did wonder whether it was a little bit too blingy, but it's perfect.
Yeah, I like it.
Because it does really stand out from the shelves.
And this was designed by the fabulous designer Alison O'Toole, who lives in Australia.
She's amazing. And on the back it just says a little bit about the book. But beautiful cover. Absolutely beautiful. So we got a publisher. We got a really good deal actually with a publisher called Pavilion, and we were going to do 2 books, and Kath was working away really, really hard.
Yeah.
You'd done about 2/3 of the book,
Yeah.
which is
Quite a considerable amount.
year's worth of work.
Yeah, because each double page spread takes nearly a week.
Yeah, it takes a lot of thinking.
Yeah. So quite-
And as before you actually start crafting
Yeah.
the image as well, doesn't it? A lot of work was done, and then there's this thing that sometimes happens in publishing. The publisher was sold, and the new publisher, who will remain nameless, decided that they didn't want our
They didn't want a bar
book.
of it.
They didn't want it at all, so they cancelled our contract, which really hurt. And
the original guy was just upset and disappointed. He was lovely, wasn't he?
yeah. But it kind of left us with like 3/4 of a book, and Kath trying to keep the faith with her work, which is always a hard thing to do, because basically we've been massively rejected.
Yeah.
And then Otter Barry Books came along and said that they wanted to publish it, and now we have this beautiful production with, I can't remember how many pages, but far more than
64?
yeah, far more than a normal picture book.
It might even be 72. Anyway, it's something like that.
Gorgeously crafted, with a mix of word and image, and now prize winning.
Yay!
So thanks Otter Barry for picking us up.
Yes.
Yabu sucks to the people who cancelled us. Thanks so much to the English Association for making us a prize winner.
Thank you very much.
And I thought, should we do some more books together?
Yes, please.
I've got an idea.
Go on.